Alright. Let's start another stream of Ever 17. In the last episode, Kid told you that he can sense the future, and she dismisses it as deja vu. She says that there's no such thing as time travel. You talked about the Lemurians who had a third eye and communicated via telepathy, which is weird if she doesn't believe in time travel, but will believe in that. So, Yu starts to believe Kid's conspiracy that people are lying. The facility has power, only the communication system is down, and no one said why everything shut down. It was as if someone said it to trap them there or something. Don't know. Conspiracies abound. Keep your theories to yourself. Sarah hacked Sora, which is hard to say, but that triggered Sora attempting to kill them. But then another Sora was fighting that Sora, and the end result is now Sora is on their side. I think. I hope. I hope that is the case. Sora reveals Yu's father didn't die 17 years ago, but he did die 34 years ago, which is older than Yu, who is 18. Spooky. And then another twist is that her mother passed away 15 years ago, and it was covered up. What a twist! Cool. Okay, so now we're all caught up. It seems like we're almost at the end of this route. Which means maybe this will be a long one. I don't know. Let's see what I can do. Alright. I tried to organize my thoughts as I looked for you. I realized that there were 6 things that I knew for sure. 1. Yu's father, Tanaka Yuichi, had apparently died 34 years previously. 2. And Yu's mother, Tanaka Yukie, had died 15 years previously. 3. Yu had heard from her mother that Yuichi disappeared 17 years ago. 4. Yu's mother was still researching archaeology at Leimu. 5. From the written records of A and B, I knew that Yuichi and Yukie had a daughter. 6. I can count. Finally, both of her parents' deaths had something to do with the Tiefblau virus. I wondered what we could possibly find out about those facts. It is 10:24 a.m. Jesus, this is a big morning, guys. As I was walking the corridor, Sarah suddenly appeared from around the corner. Hey, kid. Where's you? Sarah shook her head. She told me she wanted to be alone. I see. I wondered what I should do. Kid, maybe you could go keep her company? Of course I will. But I wonder what I should do. Go and cheer her up. Huh? I thought you said that she wanted to be alone. That's exactly when a guy needs to go to a girl and give her the shoulder to cry on. But you went and it didn't help, right? That's different. I'm a girl. You're a boy. Got it? It shouldn't matter. You're right, kid. It shouldn't matter. Listen, no matter how much a girl pretends to be strong, she's always waiting. For what? It's obvious, isn't it? The hero who comes to save her. Say what? I was astounded. Waiting and waiting and waiting. Waiting for our prince on a white horse. That's just the way girls are. Numbed by the conversation, I tried to argue. I'm no hero, and I'm sure I'm not a prince. What? Who said that they liked the name Prince again? Forget that already. Maybe you just don't like you. That's a stupid thing to say. Well, then go to her. Sarah pointed down the corridor. Oh, alright. Worn down by the powers of Sarah's persuasion, I gave in. I don't know if anyone remembers, but Kid looks very different in age than the rest of them. This is a little wrong, maybe. But just let me ask you one more thing. Why me? If a guy was needed, Takeshi would do. Because it's settled. Huh? I decided because I like you better. And I don't have many favorites, so count yourself lucky. Sarah let out a defiant laugh. Listen up, so you don't get lost. Sarah told me where you was and I went to go find her. It's 10:31 a.m. I spotted Yu's back from behind the merry-go-round. She was looking down. She was sitting with her hand clutching the ride. Yu. Calling out to her, I went closer. Yu turned her face up towards me and gave me an agonized look and spoke. Please, don't talk to me right now. Stay away from me. Something isn't right with me right now. I might say something awful. I can't leave you alone. It was the honest truth. I sat down near Yu. I spoke exactly what came into my mind. I remember what you said when we first met. You said, I am you. I am you. You are me. We are the same. You're not alone. I was no prince on a white horse, and there wasn't much I could do by myself. So don't struggle with this alone. We'll think this through together. But I thought that we could get through it together. It's weird. It's like his internal monologue and his regular monologue. Cool. Kid. I nodded firmly. So, what do we know so far? That my dad might be dead. But that can't be true because it happened 17 years before when my mom told me. And it was 16 years before I was born. That's not all, is it? No, there's more. My mom might already be dead too. It can't be. How could it? It doesn't make any sense. 15 years ago, when I was 3, before I was even aware of anything? I saw my mom running around just fine right before I came here. That's what you said. It's not just what I said, it's a fact. What in the world? I don't know what's right or wrong anymore. So, who raised me all this time? Who was my real father? Where did he go? I just don't know anymore. Like a dam bursting, Yu spewed out all of the bad feelings that she had been building inside of her. Wait, just calm down. I'm calm enough. You're losing your composure and ability to judge. I'm always composed. Are you ready? The answer is clear. The whereabouts of my father have been unknown since he disappeared 17 years ago, but today he's alive somewhere. My mom is alive too. She's at home waiting for me. This is the truth. It's unchangeable, so I don't have to prove it. Look, you're jumping to conclusions. Shut up! You're as messed up as Lamit is. Idiot, you're the one who's messed up. What did you just say? You're pretty smart, right? Well, which one is it? And I thought you were strong. And you were the one who said that your knowledge wasn't for defense, but for offense. It was the first time that I'd met a girl who had said anything like that. I never thought that you'd be this weak. It's terrible. So why are you acting like this now? Come on, let's just be logical and think this through one more time. The way you always do. The reasons you're confused is because the information is conflicting, right? Because you think that part of it can't be right. So let's just start by sorting it fact from fiction, beginning from what you know. You know a lot about a lot of things. You have materials in your head to sort this out. You, out of anyone, should be able to tell what is a lie. Right? Yu turned her eyes away from me and bit down hard on her lip. She finally looked down and closed her eyes as if she was thinking. I could tell she was trying hard to accept the possibility that the facts might be true. You're right. I don't know what was wrong with me. Finally, Yu lifted her face. I don't know what's the matter with me. I don't know, maybe it's the fact that she just learned that both your parents are dead. It's a pretty big deal. I'm sorry. Yu gave a little nod. Alright. At last, it was time to start deducing things. should get the Ace Attorney music up. We decided to start breaking things down with the points that were clear. Like, what was Tiefblau, or TB? You had explained that it was a malignant virus that had an extremely high death rate, and that it ravaged the world in the past. In the past? Interesting. She said that it was the first discovery more than 30 years previously. So, time-wise, there was nothing strange if her father had died from Tiefblau 34 years before, then her mother... before then, and then her mother 15 years before. Furthermore, the world was entirely free of TB a decade later. The World Health Organization had officially declared that the disease was eradicated. What you didn't know was that her parents were supposed to have died. You didn't know that she was, what to make of that information since she was 16 years before she was born. And the mother that had raised her, she said that she just seen her face just the other day, but she was supposed to have died 15 years ago. We figured that there were 4 possibilities. 1. Yoichi had not actually died but only disappeared 17 years ago, and Yukie was still alive. 2. Yoichi had not actually died but only disappeared 17 years ago. However, Yukie had passed away 15 years ago. 3. Yoichi had died 34 years ago, but Yukie was still alive and well. 4. Yoichi had died 34 years ago, and Yukie 15 years ago. We didn't know which was the truth and which were fiction. It was incredibly confusing. We decided to consider the possibilities one by one. Those theories were based on information from 4 sources. A file compiled by Sora concerning the death of Tanaka Yukie. B. The chat log from A and B, the only source of information about Yoichi's death. C. What Yu's mom had told her, the only source of information about Yoichi's disappearance. And D. The existence of Yu's mom. We moved the security office and checked the file concerning the death of Tanaka Yukie again, which, with as much evidence as there was in the file, it looked like Yukie's death was indeed a fact. We set aside a question of whether she was actually Yu's real mother for the time being. So, we were able to narrow it down to possibilities 2 and 4. 2. Yoichi had not actually died, but only disappeared 17 years ago. However, Yukie had passed away 15 years ago. Or 4. Yoichi had died 34 years ago, and Yukie 15 years ago. We deduced that if Yukie was dead, then that meant that Yu's mother had been lying to her all these years. We didn't bother ourselves about the possibility of the 2 women having the same name. If we could determine that Yukie was lying, then the readability of her information about Yoichi's disappearance would drop dramatically. That would strongly boost the possibility that the 4th theory was right, that Yoichi had died 34 years ago, and Yukie 15 years ago. That would mean that both of them are... No, I said wait, quit jumping to conclusions. But... You're so impatient, we're still trying to sort this out, right? Just then, the lights started flickering on and off. See, the lights agree with me. Okay. Whoa! The lights went out. Maybe they're agreeing with me. Finally, they flashed back on. It seems like the lights are in bad shape. It sure does. I wonder if it's another blackout. Sorry. I need a sip. Are we gonna have to make repairs again? Well, I don't want to do it either. This time we should have Kurinari fix it himself. That'd be pretty low. The light conversation seemed to lift Yu's spirits. Okay then. Huh? I heard a voice in the distance. Hey you! Where are you? What's that? Is that Kurinari? It sounds like he's looking for you. Hey Kurinari, I'm over here! After a bit, Takeshi appeared. Ah, there you are! I looked all over for you. Oh, and there's the kid too. You two sure seem to be together a lot recently. I don't know about that. What, are you jealous? Nope, not a bit. What? Well, you should be. Alright, well then I'm jealous. This will actually blow your mind, but actually, me and the kid are dating. Whoa! What? Really? No, 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 no. I shook my head vigorously. No way, that absolutely blows my mind. Okay, I'll stop pretending to be surprised now. Hey, don't interrupt me. I'm supposed to give you the punchline. I know what's coming next. I'm kidding, it's a joke, right? Yep. Alright, enough of that. Let's get back on topic. Alright. That was a dumb moment. This is a really dumb moment. And what is it that you came for? I'm gonna go make some repairs on the generator. You wanna help? Sorry, hold on. The joke was so dumb I choked on it. Repair the generator? I don't believe this. Are you saying there's been a blackout again? I didn't believe it. No, it's not that serious, but the generator isn't in the best of shape. Yeah, the lights did just go out a little bit ago. See? No big deal, just some maintenance that's gotta be done. Orders, orders! Sora's orders! I see. Will you help? Sure, I suppose. It seemed that Yu still wasn't back to normal. I could tell that she was just pretending to be just fine. I thought that she might get hurt if I let her go make repairs in that state of mind. Hey, Takeshi, I'll go with you to do the repairs. What? You will, kid? It looks like Yu is a bit worn out. But you don't know a thing about machines, right? It'll be fine. I'll try hard. So, let me help. My desperate attempt at persuasion succeeded, and I had to help. We started the work after lunch, but... Takeshi, that hurts! Alright, it's 4:07 p.m. You can take that. You're a man, after all. Takeshi grinned sadistically as he patted my right arm, which is supported by a cast. The cast was made of specifically formulated plastic. It was lighter than I had expected, and not too cumbersome. Takeshi had put the cast on me with instructions from Sora. Sora had said she had something else to do and left to the work Takeshi. Sorry. Wow, I can't read for some reason. Wow, that dive you took was really something else. Pretty impressive stuff. Be quiet, I told you my leg slipped. You're the one who forced the tools on me, so I guess I broke my arm. Don't try to pin this on me. I never said to bring the tools along. You're the one who's sprang off without anything. If we had tools to make repairs again, then if we have to make repairs again, then we'll need tools, so I left them there. Takeshi was making excuses. Okay, fine. It was all my stupid fault. I looked at the cast wrapped around my right arm. While repairing the generator, I had lost balance holding the heavy toolbox and fallen off the machine. Well, don't get so down about it. Sora said it's a clean break, so you'll be back in business in no time. Easy for you to say. Alright, well now it's time. Takeshi picked up an object that he could easily be mistaken for a gun at a glance. But it was a syringe used to inject a cartridge filled with a cocktail of antibiotics, fever medicine, painkillers, and vitamins. That's a weird description. Give me your arm. Takeshi put the needle against my left arm. Alright, 7:35 p.m. It turned to night. Dinner time rolled around. Just like always, we filled our empty bellies with tuna sandwiches made by Takeshi. Oh, I want a tuna sandwich so bad. We wanted a change of pace to do something fun, so we spread out a blanket in the park's rest area. We thought it would kind of put us in a picnic mood. The blanket was from a shop that stocked them on the same floor, so it had Lemu's Myun Myun label printed on it. Sora couldn't eat, but she still sat with us smiling at the same time. Smiling just the same. Okay. It seemed that it was fun for her. Sarah had just gone to get more drinks from the kiosk. Yu wasn't around. She didn't feel well and was resting in the infirmary. So Sarah was going to take her sandwich later. Drawn by the scent, Tsugumi appeared. As if she didn't notice or didn't care, Tsugumi parked herself on Yun-Yun's face and started munching on the sandwich. Of course, Takeshi started complaining, but Tsugumi just ignored him. She simply sat there, eating and drinking by herself. I stared at her absent-mindedly. I wondered if she was still stuck on those words. On the 7th, you will die. Ever since then, Tsugumi had almost left me alone. I wondered if she was thinking about it just then. I was mulling that over when... Ah! All of a sudden, Sarah screamed from the direction of the kiosk. There's a rat! Hearing that, Takeshi forgot about Tsugumi for an instant and ran to the kiosk. Sora and I followed him. Some of the box food in the kiosk had been damaged. Whoa, what a mess! It looks like these are totally damaged. I wonder if the hot dogs were the work of the rat too. Huh? But those were in the fridge. She was right. The stuff in the fridge was fine. It looked like there was no immediate danger of starving. Still, I'm surprised that there are rats in Leimu. Takeshi, our de facto cook, was livid. He was so mad that he couldn't speak. His face went bright red and his whole body shook with anger. Tsugumi was enjoying it though. What's so funny? Of course it's his face. She pointed at Takeshi as she said that. Takeshi snapped. That lousy rodent! He pissed me off! If I catch that rat, I'm gonna feed him to the fish outside! Like that, a raging Takeshi set about trying to rig up a trap to catch the rat. And he ended up making me help him try to design and set it up. Going along with him was the only way to calm him down. I was somehow able to help him using my one good arm to cover for my lame one. The trap he tried to make was a useless contraption pieced together from stuff in the warehouse. I won't go the pain of trying to describe it. Okay. 11:51 p.m. We didn't finish until the middle of the night. My mind and body were both worn out. I headed to where Yu was. I was worried about her and wanted to touch base about the theories on her parents. Hey, there you are, kid. What, do you need something? Yeah, I got a message for you from Nakyu. From you? I was just about to see her. I don't think she's in the infirmary. I think she headed out. Is she feeling better? Yep. She said she was feeling tons better. Oh, well that's good. And what's the message? Oh, yeah. It's, she said she's going to the place, and you should come too. The place? She said that you'd know what she meant. The place? Did that mean, hey, what? I don't know, but you seem to be doing alright for yourself. You're already sneaking dates at night and all. You sly guy, you. I didn't think I knew what she was talking about, but the theory was half-baked. Either way, what trick did you use to calm you down? She fell for you in the blink of an eye, so you must be good. She didn't fall, I fell, and that's how I hurt my arm. Oh, I see now. You're playing dumb. Come on, just tell me a little. What you said or what you did. Or I guess to hear the juicy details, you have to be over 18, maybe? What did she mean, 18? I don't know what you're talking about. I just gave her a helping hand. What? You skipped first base? Huh? And? Come on, it's okay. I won't tell anyone else. You don't want to tell me? I thought it was risky to continue the conversation and decided to take a hint from history and see no more, speak no more, hear no more. Sarah finally got the idea. Ultimately, Sarah gave up. Since I figured that was you waiting for me, I started walking. I thought about what you meant by the place. I figure it was probably the Lemurian ruins. And now it is it's midnight, 0 o'clock. Okay. Just like I had the day before, I visited the ruins. I figured I'd find you there. I felt like I had traveled through time and opened the door to an ancient land. Speaking of time travel, you had scoffed at it, but I still hadn't given up on the theory. It was the only one that had made sense to me. There was no other way to explain things. I entered the ruins. I continued through the maze-like passages. Trying not to get lost, I racked my memory. Fortunately, I remembered the path I'd taken the day before. It was still fresh in my mind. It was like I had been through the area dozens of times. Finally, yahoo! And there she is. There's you again in her special illustration. I found you. She was in the same spot as the day before, the Sun Temple. She was sitting on the same obelisk, hugging her knees. I sat down next to her. Do you feel better now? Yeah, thanks to you. Well, that's good to hear. You did a good job of finding this place again. It was the only place I could think of. That's not what I mean. I mean, you remembered the route here. What are you talking about? You called me here, right? That's right. Don't tell me you thought that I wouldn't find my way back. Well, yeah. I'm kidding. It's a joke. To tell you the truth, I just wanted to test you. Test me? Yep. I wanted to see if you could navigate the labyrinth, slay the evil dragon, and rescue the princess held captive here. To see whether the hero would show up or not. I wanted to test the prince on the white horse. You heard of that from Sarah, right? Right. And you're supposed to be the princess? Well, I don't want to sound too full of myself, but... I'm going back. I stood up. Oh, you're mean. What? I'm not good enough for you? That's not it at all. I just can't handle this kind of game right now. I'm completely worn out and I've got this broken arm. Oh, your arm. You belatedly noticed my arm. Standing, I went to return on the road that I had used coming in, but you came after me. Hey, wait! Just a second. Leave me alone. If all you want to do is talk about your stupid fantasies, I'd rather get some sleep. You got hurt, trying to help me. It's a battle scar you can be proud of. She just won't give up. As I was about to complain, you gently laid her hand on my hard cast. I bet. Does it still hurt? Only a little. I lied. Thanks to the medicine, it didn't really hurt at all. Do you want me to cast a spell on it for you? A spell? Yep, I learned it straight from my mom. It's guaranteed to work. It's my way of saying I'm sorry. You put both of her hands on my cast as if enveloping it and gently started rubbing it. I can't with this game. I just stood there. I could feel the heat from her palms through the cast. As she lightly stroked my arm, you started whispering. Oh, of course, okay. Chin, pui pui, pain, pain, go fly away, far beyond the Andromeda Nebula. Chin, pui pui? How is it? The pain stopped, right? Far beyond the Andromeda Nebula? What? Is there a problem? Nope. All of a sudden, I had a wild urge to laugh. It was something I never thought I'd hear come out of Yu's mouth, and it tickled me incredibly. Yeah, it looks like you completely fixed it. My irritation vanished. Oh, good. I thought it would help. I decided to go back to the hall. I'm glad that you came. Huh? That you made your way through the labyrinth to find me. Now all you have to do is rescue the princess, right, Prince? You just don't quit. Alright, well, then I'm off to dispose some evil dragon. Finally, I understood. The evil dragon that was holding you, it was Yu's past, and she needed to be saved. Listen, no matter how much a girl pretends to be strong, she's always waiting. I thought maybe she was waiting for me. Alright, let's go restart our detective work. Suddenly, I noticed a tart, refreshing aroma tickling my nose. It mixed with the mildewy smell of the ruins. It was the scent of not yet ripened fruit. It was familiar. It smelled like the sun in spring. We decided to reorganize the information we had. We thought about the data we had on her parents. Sora's files and reported Yu's mother, Tanaka Yukie, as dying. Sora's files had reported that Yu's mother, Tanaka Yukie, as dying 15 years ago. Then the company land had a chat log that indicated Yu's father, Tanaka Yoichi, dying 34 years ago. However, Yu's mom had told her that her father had gone missing 17 years ago. There were pictures and movies, but they could not be completely trusted as reliable. Yu had even said so herself. And what was most suspicious was that the lady who Yu thought of as her mom. From what we could gather, the death of her parents, Yoichi and Yukie, were facts. That meant that her mother, or the lady who called herself that, could have been lying all along. Based on all of that information, we narrowed it down to two most likely possibilities. 4. Yoichi had died 34 years ago, and Yukie 15 years ago. Hey, I bet this is what happened. If it's true that your mom and dad died, then the person working at Leimu, the person you thought your mom was up until now, isn't your mom, but a foster parent? Yeah. Then your real dad could have died 34 years ago and your mom 15 years ago. So someone took pity on the orphan daughter So somebody took pity on the orphan daughter, took you in and raised you. But that's impossible. Why? Because Tanaka Yoichi isn't my real father. It has to be true. He died 34 years ago, right? And I was born 18 years ago. To be precise, I was born on September 22nd, 19 years ago. Wow, that's close to my birthday, actually. In either case, my father would have to have been alive until December of 20 years ago. I figured that was an area I didn't really know much about, so I held my tongue. But she was right. It did sound fishy. The question was how to fill in the missing years. No way. What? Nothing. Come on. Go forward. Uh-oh. Okay. What? Tell me. You can't start to say something and stop like that. I don't think that this could ever happen, but what if you were actually 33 years old? Me? 33? You think that with my skin that I could be in my 30s? Alright, so now I have the choice of either saying you look it or you don't look it. And I'm going to say you don't look it because that would be polite, I guess, if you don't think that 30-year-old people could have nice skin. Thank you. You don't look it. Right? Now, jokes aside, if I were 33 years old, that would mean that there's a 15-year gap in my memory. Where in the world could those 15 years have gone? I never had amnesia like you, and I don't remember being abducted by aliens, and I haven't had a Rip Van Winkle experience either. Rip Van what? That would mean that when I was 12, I was really 27? That couldn't be right. Or when I was 5, I was actually 20. That's even more impossible. In the 18 years and 7 months of my life, I have never once felt a gap of 15 years. A 15-year gap. Listen, sorry to stop you, but let's get back on topic. Huh? You were just talking about Rip Van Winkle, right? And? He falls asleep and... Huh? Rip Van Winkle. He falls asleep and when he returns home... I got it! This is probably what happened. You probably traveled through time. Would you stop talking about these stupid theories of yours? But it would explain everything. Somewhere along the line, maybe you were small. Maybe when you were small, before you can even remember, I'll bet you jumped 15 years into the future. You were probably born 33 years ago. That would mean that if Yoichi died 34 years ago, it all makes sense. Geez, how many times are you going to have to say that before you're satisfied? Time travel is a physical impossibility, just like water flows downhill. But if you use a siphon, you can move the water uphill. Alright, come on. I don't know why my thing is not working. Okay. That's not what I mean. It's just an example, an analogy. But you're not the only one that experienced time travel. I did too. But my time travel was different. And I think it's probably the reason I get premonitions about things. I was trapped here in Lemu before. How can you be so sure about it? How can you be so absolutely confident about it? Even if, just suppose that you did travel through time. Where's the other kid? The other you? The other me? Life readings, 7. I remember the night on May 1st when the numbers of the life scan kept changing. Yes, the other you. You're saying that you've been repeating the several days of being trapped here before, right? If so, then the past you should be here as well. That's, I know. The only memory is going back through time. Even if you forgot everything, that's exactly why I've lost my memory. Normally, anything like memory going back through time would defy common sense. But this time, common sense is being defied. My brain couldn't deal with the situation and started to panic, so it tried to logically explain or deal with the situation. And so it erased all of my memories. I don't mean to take the air out of you after your enthusiastic speech, but we don't call that logical. I'm pretty sure that word is pathological, and sometimes they add the word delusional for good measure. So the day ended without us finding any answers. And it is now May 5th, Friday. Ooh, what's going on? The next morning, everyone slept in. It looked like everyone was pretty beat. When you and I saw each other, we both said good morning as if everything were normal. It seemed like she wanted to act as if things were the same as always in front of everybody else, so I did my best to follow suit. It's 8:37 a.m. The late start pushed our breakfast time back later than usual. Sora had to put in a request, so we were going to have another picnic. She really seemed to enjoy them. We spread out the same Yun blanket near the rest area. I went to go check on the trap that we had set the night before while everyone was preparing, just in case we caught something. But just as I got to where we'd set it, I saw Takeshi breaking down the trap. Huh? You're cleaning it up? Takeshi nodded silently, meaning that Takeshi's big shoulders slumped, and he let out a big sigh. He looked so pathetic. I couldn't say anything else. When we finally had gotten everything ready, Tsugumi appeared out of nowhere. And once again she plopped herself down on the sheet and started munching away. I didn't know if Takeshi had matured overnight, but he held his tongue as if it was clear he was in a sulky mood. Sarah and Tsugumi didn't look at each other. It seemed like they were ignoring each other. Apparently, they weren't getting along. But everyone tried to make the best of it, eating, chatting, and having fun. Ready, row, sham, bow. Ready, go! I lost again. Kid, you're terrible at this. What is that? 16 losses in a row now? Weird. You're too nice. You just have to throw out whatever you feel. Rock, paper, or scissors. He's the gullible type. I am not. I'm trying to win. Ready, go! Dang it. I just kept losing. Could it be that with your amnesia, your ability to make decisions isn't so good right now? Don't get caught up with the trivial things that you can't control. You need to be strong. Make up your own mind or else you'll end up following everybody else. I know. That being as it is, time for the loser's penalty. Hand over your sandwich. Silently, I held out my sandwich. Alrighty. She squeezed a ton of mustard onto my sandwich. Penalty was mustard, and my sandwich was already drenched in the stuff. My mouth felt like it was on fire before I even took a bite. Maybe thanks to that silly exchange, I was able to get through the whole thing without thinking about it too much. Suddenly, someone cut across my field of vision. It was Tsugumi. Tsugumi was walking towards Takeshi. She extended her hand. Huh? What's with the hand? You're like a dog. Shake, girl. And you'll probably say, don't make fun of me. You're really dumb, you know that? Are you trying to say that you want another helping? Tsugumi nodded at Sora's extra explanation. She had already wolfed down her first one. Hey, you've got a lot of nerve. You only show your face at mealtime and now you're demanding seconds? Well, I suppose. So, do you have more or not? I do. I thought you might want more, so I made a special one for you. Special? I had a bad feeling about the whole thing. Eat this, and no leftovers. Tsugumi took the sandwich without saying anything. Takeshi stared at Tsugumi as she took the wrap off the sandwich. What? It's nothing. It's just that you're so beautiful. I can't take my eyes off of you when you're just removing a sandwich wrapper. Your stupidity is terminal. Maybe if you died 50 times it would help. I thought Takeshi would get angry, but he was just grinning as he watched Tsugumi start in on her sandwich. Something was definitely not right there. I sucked in my breath and I watched. Tsugumi bit into the sandwich. It's got quite a flavor, huh? That sandwich. Takeshi laughed so hard he cried. It's packed with mustard, Tabasco, pepper, sage, nutmeg, cinnamon, mint, and a dose of curry powder. And for good measure, I added a dose of mayonnaise, ketchup, sugar, salt, soy sauce, vinegar, and vanilla. And what else? Oh, I forget. Anyway, I threw in every single ingredient and spice that I could find, and it's my secret 34-ingredient sauce. It's interesting because I think that's what kind of ingredients Coco made on that secret sandwich that she made one time too. Hey, that's just too cruel. Yeah, that's going too far, Takeshi. Shut up, I'm the cook here. Komachi-san, I highly recommend inducing vomiting immediately. Get water quickly. No, we'll need medicine first. She'll be fine. She'll get the runs, but she won't die. That's not something you should do to a girl. I went to grab Takeshi with my left hand. I'm fine. Tsugumi mumbled that, stopping us. Huh? Well, aren't you tough? I'm perfectly fine. But it still tastes terrible, right? Tell the truth. I'm totally fine. It kind of tastes like pizza. Everybody's stunned, I guess. What? Wait, what did you just say? What's it taste like? Pizza. Are you serious? Tsugumi nodded. Hum, hum, hum. Hey, let me see that. That can't be. Takeshi went to grab the sandwich, but Tsugumi was too quick for him. Not only that, Takeshi caught his foot and fell on the floor. In that instant, Tsugumi polished off the sandwich. Thanks for the sandwich. You made it specifically for me, right? So the event ended with Tsugumi turning the tables on Takeshi. Alright, 9:19 a.m. I'm glad we figured all that sandwich debacle out. I ended up cleaning the area afterwards. I separated the cans and sandwich wrappers and put them in the garbage bags. You and Sarah helped. Takeshi said he was going to start getting ready for lunch and headed back to the kiosk. Sora said that she had to do some maintenance on Limit and left for the control room. Tsugumi disappeared to somewhere unknown. But something happened while I was picking up garbage. Yahoo! Huh? What's the matter? Nothing. Did somebody just call out? What? Nobody said anything. Really? Must be my imagination. I bet you're just trying to find a way to get out of helping. I'm not. It's not that at all. Were you hearing mystery voices again? Well, Please don't do that again. Get a hold of yourself already. I know you're tired, but... We started picking up the garbage again. Finally finished with the trash and folded the blanket when we were done cleaning up. Now, we'll just sweep the area. Mayo, can you do me a favor and get the broom and a dustpan? I think they're at the kiosk. Roger that. Sarah set out from the kiosk. I was just thinking, this place must be a nightmare for the people who have to clean up, actually. It would be if people had to do it. But Lemay uses a cleaning robot that automatically cleans the whole complex. Wow. Well, what with the accident and all, I imagine the robot is a rusted pile of junk metal at the bottom of the ocean right now. I'll bet. Here we go. What? I was hearing voices again. Thinking about it, I guess that Lemu is just one massive pile of scrap metal. I suppose it's just a matter of how it's destroyed. Wait, what's the matter? Oh, you're not. Not again. Oh, alright. You've done it enough. Just go to the infirmary somewhere and rest. You've got a serious condition or something. I was sure I'd heard something. That time, I was sure it wasn't my imagination. I'm carving. Can't you see? I'm carving. See? I really can hear something. I'm etching some marks into this stone statue. Stone statue? I looked around the 4 stone statues at the edge of the open area, and there, atop a pedestal of the stone statue, was a girl. Oh my god, it's Coco! It's Coco! She's carving! She was standing next to the figure as if clinging to it. Oh, it's that girl! It was the girl who I had seen and who had vanished on the first day. Look, you, right here! Huh? Look, over on that statue! What about the statue? Look, that stone statue, there's a girl there, see? Huh? I don't see anybody. Not there, over there! Oh, forget it, I'll go call to her. Kid! I sprinted towards the stone statue. What could that girl be doing up there? Well, it's because I was feeling lonesome. Lonesome? And anyway, I was feeling sad. Sad? What is she talking about? Here we go. Next. Uh-oh. Just then, the girl had lost her balance, falling from an awkward place on the pedestal. And this is a special illustration of Coco falling from the statue. Look out! I ran towards her. The water caught on my feet and sprayed everything as I ran all out to where she was. Will I make it? I closed my eyes, mustered all my power, and sprinted. Threw my free left hand to where the girl would be falling to catch her. Splash! I didn't feel anything. I thought maybe I hadn't reached her in time. Scared, I opened my eyes. What? There was no one in my arms, or even nearby. Only the water sloshing about gently around me. Hey, are you alright? It looks like you took a pretty nasty spill. I looked above me. Of course there was no one on the pedestal sporting the statue. Without saying anything, I got up and went behind the statue. There were scratches in the stone. They looked like they had been deeply carved by something hard and sharp. These are definitely Coco's drawings. They were in the shape of people. Really simple looking, like stick people. And at the end of each stick was a little round face. There were 6 in all. Looking closer, I saw that next to the people were 2 carvings of animals that I'd never seen. I looked up at the statue. The statue was pointing diagonally upward, to the east. Hey, what are you 2 doing? That's a good question. I ignored them and gently touched the carvings into the statue. Without thinking, I blurted out, "Watch your step, okay?" Okay. The answer could have been my imagination that time. Spooky! Oh, things are happening! Okay. Okay. Alright. After that, I decided to go to the infirmary and sleep. Apparently, I wasn't feeling... it wasn't that I was feeling ill. It was simply that I wasn't getting enough sleep, and I wanted some quality rest. I slept so deeply that I didn't even dream. When I awoke, it was already around evening. There was a memo by the bed. We will be in the conference room until dinner. If you wake up by then, please come along. I'm sorry for making you hang out with me the last couple of days. Please make sure that you get some rest. You. Judging from the signature, it seemed that you had left it. I got out of bed, stretched, and left the room. It's 4:22 p.m. I started walking towards the direction opposite of the conference room. I decided to take a walk around the complex just for fun. I got into the A, and I thought it would make a good change of pace to walk around the floor that I hadn't spent much time on. That was my thinking. I rode down to the 3rd floor, and it was flooded with water. I wondered where I should go, looking around thinking. That's when it happened. I saw her again. Hey! I saw a small figure cutting across the corridor. I was sure of it. It was that girl. I chased after her. Her skirt shook back and forth as she walked farther and farther away. It was almost as if she was trying to get away from me. Hey, wait a minute! She might not have heard me because she didn't show any signs of stopping. I wondered what it was all about. The girl that kept appearing out of nowhere and then disappearing. The girl that didn't register on Lemi's bioscan. No, she had registered once. Life readings, 7. But the more that I thought about it, the stranger everything seemed. She only appeared in front of me and we hardly communicated. Well, I wouldn't worry about it. I knew it wouldn't help. It was something that I could solve simply by asking her directly. She headed into the cosmic whale room. I followed in soon after her. Ah, cosmic whale room is so cool. There it is. Look at it. It's a big whale in the sky. The room was dimly lit. A massive whale floated like a majestic phantasm in the cosmic room. The girl was in the middle of the room. She was facing away from me, sitting and hugging her knees. I finally caught up. I approached her as I caught my breath. I heard singing. It sounded like phrases from a children's song. Moon sprite shouldering a long bow. I'm not gonna sing. Waiting inside a dream. I felt like I heard the lyrics somewhere before. Somewhere, I was sure. In the distant past. I wondered if my missing memory was making me feel that way. Hey, you. Her shoulders jumped with a shock, and she stopped singing. Slowly, she turned back and looked at me. It was the girl after all. Why do you run away from me? Oh, well, I guess it doesn't matter. It really did matter to me, but since I had finally been able to confront the girl, I felt a surge of relief. Well, why don't we go where everyone else is? I held out my hand as I said that. Finally, she stood up and spoke. Oni-chan. What? The girl just stared at my face. Well, let's go. I took her hand and tugged it as I began to walk, the inside of my mind was churning. It was because of what she had just said. Inside of me, I felt like another me was screaming. That's how I felt. I found another girl! I burst into the conference room as I shouted that. Of course, I was still leading the girl by the hand. Everyone turned to look at me at once. Huh? Another what? Who are you talking about? Are you talking about that girl? Yeah, I found her in the cosmic whale room and brought her here. Everyone's quiet. What's the matter with everyone? Why aren't you surprised? Maybe you should go rest for a while. What? Hey, hey! The girl was tugging at my sleeve. I turned to look at her, but the girl that I brought back was... What are you doing? Dragging me here all of a sudden. It's Sarah. Sarah? I looked back at everyone. This isn't right. I saw her, I swear. We were walking hand in hand. It wasn't Sarah. Is that right, Matsunaga-san? No, I didn't see anybody else. The kid just suddenly grabbed my hand. What? Sarah, why are you lying? Huh? What are you talking about? You're the one who's lying. What? The girl in the cosmic whale room. She was sitting down, hugging her knees. She was singing some kind of phrases to a kid's song. I'm telling you, that was me. Sarah was red-faced and shouting. You don't have to tell everybody about it. Geez, what's with her? What's going on here? Ah! Yu groaned as she slapped her forehead with her hand. Kid, just forget about everything else and get some rest. I'll bring you some dinner later. What's going on with this guy? I thought about a lot of things as I plodded into the infirmary. Things leading to that point. Things to come. The odd things going on. Things I couldn't figure out. Things I needed to find out. Things I needed to decide. Everything I had been trying to avoid thinking about all rushed into my mind at once, making it a confused mess. I couldn't help thinking and worrying about things. About you. What if the man who had died 34 years ago wasn't Yu's father? Then who was her real father? Who was the woman that died 15 years ago? Was that really Yu's mother? If not, then who was? About me. Why did I keep having premonitions of the future? What did it mean? Who was the girl? Why had I mistaken Sarah for her? Why had I lost my memory in the first place? What had happened to me in the past? What did Tsugumi know about all of it? And why were we all trapped in Lemu? Was it just an accident or something else? It's 8:19 p.m. A few hours later, the installation started to flood again. Dritter stock from the partition to the cosmic whale was submerged. Casualties? None. Flooding to other rooms? None. Chance of damaging spreading? None. Sora's voice conveyed the situation over the intercom in a matter-of-fact tone. The cosmic whale room. I had just been there until just shortly before the flooding. But somehow it felt like the event had taken place far, far away. I covered my head with the blanket, closed my eyes, and tried to sleep. I tried to search for the world that I should be in, for the place that I should return to, and for myself. The next thing I knew, I was standing there. We are in a different place right now. We are in the place below the theme park. The secret lab. Interesting. The corridor I was in wasn't very popular. It was completely silent. It was narrow, dark, cold. Where is this? I wondered if I really was in Lemu. Nothing looked familiar. It was like an unknown world. I just stood there in the middle of this foreign corridor. Wait. I knew that space. For some reason it seemed familiar to me. Like an image that had appeared and hid in the mist, not quite visible, or like a moon peeking out in between gaps in a thick night fog. It was a corridor that stretched on straight forward. It seemed to go on forever in both directions. I started walking it without really thinking about it. I've been here before, but when could that have been? It felt like something long ago, but at the same time, like something recent. I couldn't remember when. I just kept walking to nowhere in particular. I have to go. But where was it that I felt I needed to go? I didn't know why, but I felt I had to go. That's why I'm walking. In a soundless world. A colorless world. A scentless world. A world that didn't exist anywhere. And then the scenery suddenly changed. I found myself in a big room. It was big and white and quiet. This looks like a hospital. We're in the hospital that's underneath the theme park. That's interesting. Well, that's what I thought. In the corner of the room were 3 capsule-like machines. As if they were calling out to me, I approached the capsules. Someone was in the capsules. Someone was sleeping in there. I reached out my right hand towards the capsule. My hand made contact. And that instant, without a sound, the lights went off. Huh? Startled, I tried to jump backwards, but my right hand was stuck to the capsule and I couldn't pull it back. I looked back at the capsule. Huh? From the point where my hand was touching the capsule lid, a blackish, sticky liquid began sipping out. No, it was more like dark blue than black. The capsule continued to ooze, blackish blue and deep blue. I didn't know and couldn't imagine what was going on. That's right, someone's inside. I have to open this and save them. But my body wouldn't move. I felt paralyzed. I stopped breathing and I could only watch what was unfolding. Finally, that sticky blue liquid covered the entire capsule, but it didn't stop there. It kept going. To the floor, the walls, the ceiling, as if it would swallow the whole room. It felt like a living animal with the will of its own, reproducing itself. The sticky blue liquid began to crawl up on my body, up on my legs and my hands, inside my clothes and between my legs. I couldn't shake it off or scream. I could only watch. After covering my body, it forced my mouth open and started flowing inside. It invaded me through my ears, nose, and the pores of my skin. In my body, the blue, it had traveled around, reaching my brain, my lungs, my heart. It began eating away at my brain, my organs, and my blood vessels. The blue liquid sucked my blood and started changing its color to black. I was changing into something that wasn't me. Ah! Assaulted by boundless fear and a horrible despair, I howled a soundless scream. It's 1:22 a.m. My eyes snapped open. The next thing I knew, I was on a bed. It smelled of disinfectant. I wondered where I was. I was drenched in sweat. My heart was pounding. I had a dull headache. I lifted up my torso and I glanced around me. The room was dim, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary. It was scenery that I knew. Oh yeah, I'm back in the infirmary. I finally realized that I had been having a dream. I got my breath back and thought back to the dream. Let's see. It seemed so vivid only moments ago, and it seemed to vanish from my mind like clouds covering the night sky. All that was left was an unknown fear, a slight headache, and a fragment of a dream. I gave up and I looked around me. The area was enveloped in a faint darkness. It wasn't a blackout. The lights had been dimmed to make it easier to sleep. The proof seemed to be that the light breathing that I could hear coming from the bed next to me. I thought that might be Sarah. Wide awake, I got out of bed. I suddenly noticed something. There was someone lying face down next to my bed, asleep. I squinted to see who it might be. It was you. I thought that she was going to be sore for sure after sleeping in that position. At least to keep her from catching a cold, I went to cover her with a blanket. Just then... Oh, kid? Good morning. Oh, did I wake you up? No, I didn't mean to go to sleep. I guess I dozed off. All right, then, you shouted as she stood up. So, how are you feeling? I feel perfectly fine. How could that be? You've been hearing things, seeing things, and that's proof that your nerves are shot. I've been looking out for you every night, so I feel kind of responsible. It's not your fault. Well, that makes me feel a little better. Saying that, Yu shrugged her shoulders. I'm done with the bed, so you can sleep here, Yu. What about you? I slept enough this afternoon. I'm not tired. I see. Yu thought for a moment. In that case, will you hang out with me tonight? Sure. So we decided to hang out again that night in what seemed to be becoming a nightly ritual. Ooh, special illustration of you from the side. It's like 4:15 in the morning. The Lemurian ruins. We climbed on top of the roof of one of the buildings and gazed out over the scenery. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm gonna stretch my hand for a sec. I actually didn't know why we had decided to climb up on that particular night. But if I was to take a stab at the reason, it was probably because Lemuria was so beautiful then. For a while, the two of us were silent, just enjoying the view. Finally, I started the conversation. Let's get to the bottom of things. To the bottom of what? Let's get to the truth about your past. About your father and mother. And that truth about my past. About my lost memories and ability to see the future. And that and one more thing. The truth about all of our pasts. And why this accident happened. Why were we the only ones trapped here? Why couldn't we get out? I'm tired of dwelling on all this. I mean it. Let's really figure it out. Let's figure this out tonight. Kid? You stared into the distance. I'm sorry, but could we just forget about that today? Huh? Why? I feel so tired. That wasn't the reason that I invited you here today. I wondered why we had come there. Why do you get so caught up in knowing about the past of people? You can never take back what's happened in the past. All we can do is live in the moment, and that's what's happening to us right this instant. We can't hop back and forth to the past or to the future. The future will come. But until that moment comes, the future is just like the dark. You can't see anything. You never know what might happen a minute from now. The future is scary, so that's why people look to the past. If you look back, everything is clearly illuminated, but the past is really the same. The further you get away from the present, the darker it is and the less you can see. To me, it seemed to lose your memory, like I had, made everything pitch black. No, rather, things became nothing. The only sphere that we can truly know is really tiny, especially when it comes to time. We're essentially blind. That's why I just want to value this moment. The past and the future, I don't care about them anymore. I was left speechless. There was nothing I could be expected to say, because she was no longer focused on reflecting on her past. She was different from me. I alone was intent on knowing everything. I believed that I had to know it, or else. But you wasn't like that. The dragon had left the damsel free. There was no longer any need to vanquish it. Silence. I didn't know how much time had passed. It's 2:13 a.m. I don't know what time it was earlier. I think I made a mistake earlier on the time. Doesn't matter. Probably was some time. There's nothing for us to do, so we just gave ourselves to the slowly passing time. Even though there was no meaning to it, I didn't feel there was any reason being there. I've had enough of this. I stood up quickly. So, should we get some sleep? Huh? What? What's wrong? I want to spend just a little more time with you. Huh? But there's nothing for us to do, is there? That's what I was about to say, but you said, there's something about being with you that relaxes me. I sat down again where I was. I figured that even if it had nothing to do with me, it might mean something to her. Hey, you do know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, sorry. Do you know what I'm thinking right now? I shook my head. Guess. How would I supposed to know? You traveled through time, right? You experienced all of this before, right? In that case, you should know what I'm about to do. You don't believe in time travel, right? It's not what I'm saying. So guess. You repeated herself. Are you going to do something? Yeah, probably. What are you gonna do? I keep telling you to guess, right? You don't know? I don't know. What is it you're supposed to do at times like this? What? Use your other eye. My other eye? The third eye? Yup. When the third eye opens, true wisdom is apparent and all becomes visible. But how? You want me to teach you? Yeah. It was something I had hoped for. If I could harness that power, then my past memory. First, Do you know where the first eye is? I cocked my head thinking, it's here. Oh, special illustration of you pointing directly at us, I guess. As she spoke, Yu's index finger approached my right eye. I closed it. The tip of Yu's finger touched my eyelid. And the second eye? Right here. Without giving me a second to think, Yu did the same thing to my left eye. And the third eye? That's right here. I felt something soft touch my lips. Startled, I opened my eyes. We have a special illustration of Yu's incredibly tiny mouth. It is hysterically tiny. It is the smallest mouth I have ever seen in my life. It is I guess, why is it so small? It's too much. This is the tiniest mouth I've ever seen. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Okay. Startled, I opened my eyes, and you're probably startled by the tiniest mouth I've ever seen in my life. It's like a vestigial mouth. My mind went completely blank. I couldn't think of anything. The third eye? Had I found true wisdom? Had all things become visible to me? It was a lie. I felt more and more confused. The scene in front of me, the soft touch of skin, and the sweet smell that made my brain numb. It was all I could do to absorb those. This is a lot right now, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to compose myself. Because at this point, it's like this 18-year-old woman is hitting on this seemingly 12-year-old. Like, we don't know how old it is. That's a lot. Cool. Tiny mouth. It's fine. Alright. And the sweet smell that made my brain numb, it was all I could do to absorb those. That so-called third eye gave only the truth, warmth, confusion, and affection. That night passed as I etched pure, slow, and new memories into my mind. Gross. Alright, it's May 6th, Saturday, I think it said. 10:09 a.m. The next morning. Does he wake up with, like, tiny hickeys all over himself, too? I'm sorry. It's too much. After breakfast, we all gathered in the conference room. More accurately, we gathered because Sora had called us together. Let's see if I can skip this. I can't. Damn. Tsugumi also made a rare appearance. There is an important reason why I've called you all here. Oh boy. Okay. I'm trying to think. Do I want to continue this? I think I might have to stop. I thought I would get further, but it's a lot. Okay. Alright, so we're just gonna cut it off here. Thanks for joining. That was a lot of fun. We had fun with Yu's tiny mouth. Okay, goodbye!